Democrat Katie Hobbs is the projected winner of the gubernatorial race in Arizona. I'm Kristi Leigh, and that's coming up in today's Daily Brief. Plus, it might not have been a red wave, but with enough wins, the GOP already has transformative plans. Legacy media has gone silent about the Paul Pelosi attack as strange details continue to come in. And even after an Atlantic article went viral acknowledging mistakes were made during the pandemic, there's still a push to isolate the unvaccinated. Starting today with the race for governor in Arizona, after a week of counting ballots, the Associated Press and many other outlets have declared Democrat Katie Hobbs Arizona's next governor. Former news anchor Kristi Leigh was favored to win in polls leading up to the election, but early voting gave Hobbs an early lead on Election Day. Leigh was counting on Election Day ballot drop-offs to pull ahead, but analysts say the margin of gains is not enough to win. Leigh's response so far has been short and not exactly sweet. Quote, "Arizonians know BS when they see it." The GOP candidate was critical of Hobbs' position as Secretary of State, allowing Hobbs to oversee the election, asking her to recuse herself. Voters on both sides of the aisle were critical of Hobbs' decision not to debate Leigh. Maricopa County has had numerous election issues, including malfunctioning voting machines. So far, Leigh has not conceded. Despite all the division in our country, it seems some Republicans and Democrats can agree on at least one thing: gay marriage. Blaze Media, multiple Senate Republicans ready to join Democrats in approving pro-gay marriage bill. But wait, isn't gay marriage already legal? Yes, but the Respect for Marriage Act would enshrine it into law. It would bar states from denying full faith and credit to any public act, record, or judicial proceeding of any other state pertaining to a marriage between individuals on the basis of sex, race, ethnicity, or natural origin of those individuals. Some senators want an amendment added, including language that is supposed to protect religious liberty. Legacy media has gone mute regarding the Paul Pelosi attack. Many had noted the story was frequently changing. Politico had reported early on that an unknown person opened the door to police. Then NBC released a report that contradicted federal charging papers against the accused attacker.
After a knock and announce, the front door was opened by Mr. Pelosi. The 82-year-old did not immediately declare an emergency or try to leave his home, but instead began walking several feet back into the foyer toward the assailant and away from police.
We still don't know exactly what unfolded between Mr. Pelosi and the suspect for the 30 minutes they were alone inside that house before police arrived. Officials who were investigating this matter would not go into further details about these new details. Craig, back to you.
This video was swiftly removed, and now the NBC correspondent has been suspended. Details are still not adding up. According to Information Liberation, in the indictment of Paul Pelosi's alleged nudist attacker, the DOJ claims that two officers opened the door to his home before witnessing him getting attacked. But body cam footage reportedly shows Pelosi himself opened the door for police and stayed inside the home with his alleged assailant rather than run to safety, which sounds a lot more like the NBC report that was removed and got the reporter suspended. After an Atlantic article asked for forgiveness, in a very backhanded way, for the mistakes made during the pandemic, it looks like we're back to the pandemic of the unvaccinated.
A pandemic of the unvaccinated.
This is an epidemic that's occurring in the unvaccinated.
We're seeing a pandemic among the unvaccinated.
So this is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
NBC News ran a report that kids should be kept away from the unvaccinated. Here's the list of tips. Down at the bottom, avoid physical interaction with unvaccinated individuals. So let's review what some science journals report. Most papers to date indicate vaccines are holding up against admission to hospital and mortality, says Linda Bold, professor of public health, but not so much against transmission. And a Lancet study says the vaccine effect on reducing transmission is minimal in the context of Delta variant circulation. So to wrap up, Katie Hobbs is the projected new governor of Arizona, but opponent Kristi Leigh doesn't seem to be backing down. Republicans are joining Democrats in legal protections of gay marriage. We may never know the true Paul Pelosi attack story, and efforts are underway to demonize the unvaccinated again as we head into the winter season. To learn more, be sure to go to AmericanFaith.com and subscribe to our daily newsletter. For American Faith, news you can trust, I'm Kristi Leigh.